So those of you who saw my chicken flour video, I promised you some carnivore crackers. I've not tried these yet, so we're just gonna do it, and it's either gonna work or it's not gonna work. So these crackers are made of, or going to be made of, chicken flour, and I made a video. It's one of 2 other videos I have. I'm very new to this. And chicken flour is basically, you take chicken breasts, preheat your oven to 350, folks. Chicken flour is dehydrated chicken breast that has been ground up, and I found that so far in the things that I have made that it's been close to a 1-to-1 ratio for anything that calls, like I made a crust for a quiche, and it called for a certain amount of regular flour, and I used that amount in chicken flour, and it worked. I don't know if that's the case for everything, but we're going to find out. So I'm gonna do this in 2 ways. I'm gonna make half the batch without Parmesan cheese and half of it with. I've taken a recipe, and there's my dog, he hates when I do this. I've taken the recipe and that I found online, and I've kind of played with it, so we're gonna see. It's not exact. So there is no recipe for chicken flour. This is actually a keto recipe modified with chicken flour. You need a mixer, stand mixer or hand mixer. I have a KitchenAid. I'm not endorsed by anything. I just love certain things, and so I will tell you about the things I love. So what I'm gonna use, KitchenAid. You'll need some parchment paper. They actually come in these cool pre-cut sheets, so all you have to do is pull it out. 2 cups of chicken flour, a 1/4 cup of parm. It didn't call for this, but my gut is telling me to use it. Baking powder, this is 1/3 of a teaspoon. A stick of butter softened. This is fairly softened. I'm gonna separate it in 2 parts. Well, no, I'm gonna separate the dough at the end. That's what we're gonna do. I'm just talking my way through it. We're just winging it. 2 egg whites. If you don't know how to separate egg whites from egg yolks, I actually made a video with this. And some salt. So we've got salted butter, 8 tablespoons. Let me make sure that's what this is. It is 1 stick of butter, 2 egg whites, 2 cups almond flour, or 2 cups of chicken flour, salt and parm. One of these to help cut at the end, rolling pin. So it says to preheat to 360, and in a large bowl, combine the butter and the flour. Because I'm not exactly sure how much flour I'm gonna use for this, I'm gonna eyeball it. I need a spatula. I'm gonna check out the consistency. I mean, this is dehydrated chicken breast. Who knows? Who knows? There's no recipes on this stuff, so. I find that creaming, oh, hold on. Clamp that in. That creaming the butter helps first. If it's not softened, it doesn't cream well. You guys, I have no idea. Just cross your fingers. I'm gonna do a little bit at a time. Flying everywhere. I'm just gonna add everything. So it says do the flour and butter together on a low speed, yet more. I like to periodically stop and scrape down the sides. If you've ever made a cheesecake, you learn really cool tricks from that in terms of mixing. We're just gonna go for it. 1-to-1 ratio. And then it says the two, there you go. It's distracting doing this while I'm being monitored or mindful of other things. Can't really see what I'm doing. There's nothing to see. It's in a bowl. I'll pull it out. Oh wow, this is so cool. Okay. I think you can pretty much add stuff whenever. Probably just throw it all in there. If you have one of these, you just throw it in. Done and done. Huh. It doesn't say mix or not, but sometimes. Okay, so now what we're looking at is this doughy, I got a good feeling. This doughy stuff. So like I said, we're gonna do half with Parmesan cheese, and the other half without it. I did a 1/4 cup. I'm not sure if I want to do the full 1/4 cup now. Just looking at my ratios, it's just, if you're not a cook or if you're new, I mean, I'm an amateur at best. I think I just get lucky. You make enough mistakes and you learn eventually. Your gut tells you things. I'm putting it all in. It's all or nothing. Go big or go home. I suppose if you wanted to, you could add some garlic powder and some seasonings if you like it spicy. I'm just going to stick with, wow, the parm just kind of dried it out a little bit. We're gonna improvise. I'm gonna nuke just a little bit of butter because it's just a little more crumbly and dry. This is not an exact science, obviously. More. And you can overdo butter. I have on a crust. I mean, at least I was able to blot it, but you can overdo the butter. You can cook your eggs if you added really hot butter in there. It just doesn't absorb like wheat. Wheat flour is much more forgiving. It's so bad for you. What? Or almond flour. Almond flour is a little weird. Okay, so one at a time. I'm gonna roll it out. These crackers might be a little disfigured, but that's okay. What does it say? Oh, roll until 1/8 of an inch. I don't know what 1/8 of an inch looks like. I'm just gonna go until I like it. I find that I've got to do a lot of rolling in the center because it's way thicker in the center than it is on the edges. I can probably save this excess for something else. It's a lot thicker on this side than it is on these sides. Regardless, this is just the for the sake of argument. I just need to make enough that I can decide whether this is working or not. Okay. I believe I'm supposed to leave it on the parchment paper. Yes, I am. Pretty sure. So this is our not cheesy. So to make perforations, wow, check that out. And that's basically, you put that in the oven until on 350 for 15 to 20 minutes until golden brown. Keep an eye on it because it's, like I said, it's chicken flour and who knows, this stuff's not pioneered at all. So I will resume this when it's ready. Cross your fingers. Moment of truth. I made a little fondue the other day. I just heated it up, so some cheese. We're gonna dip it. So this side is the side that was done with the Parmesan cheese. It's a little darker, it's a little flatter. I don't know if it's flatter because I rolled it that way or if it's flatter because the cheese and the baking powder just reacted differently than the baking powder without the cheese. So this is either, I guess, I don't know, it's thicker or fluffier. Maybe a little bit of both. So we have the cheese one and the cheeseless. I'll take an edge piece. Let's do that. So it's holds together really well. It didn't crumble. It's solid. Probably could use more salt, more flavoring next time. That's all right. That's carnivore, dirty carnivore, because I use baking powder. But There's no carbohydrates. This is 0 carb. Stand up. My cheese is getting hard. Okay. For what it's worth, that's all right. For what it's worth, that's good. It's no Ritz cracker, but this is what you get. This is what you get when you're doing carnivore. I have to find creative ways to keep myself entertained by food, or ribeye every day is not gonna work. All right, this is the cheese one. Has about the same, you know what, the cheese one, winner, chicken flour dinner. The cheese one wins. The texture and the consistency, it's a little firmer. When cheese holds it together more, it gives it a flavor, an edge to it. I definitely would go with the cheese one. Yeah. Huh. If you're wondering what I did with the rest of the dough that I had, there was enough that I was able to push it into a pie pan, and I'm baking it right now. So this is pretty much the same thing as a pie crust. It's essentially this, I do the same thing, except in the pie crust I'll use the full egg and not just the white. There's yolk too. So, all right, there you have it. Leave your comments and let me know what you think if you try it. If it sucks, okay. If it doesn't suck and you found an alternative to regular crackers, there's my crust. You might be able to get to see it. Alexa, stop the timer. Crust is not done yet. It's sharing space in the oven with a pork belly slow roasting on 250. That's right, so it's not done. It's probably not gonna cook that great in there on 250, but the pork belly means more to me. That's my crust. Okay. Try to think of what to make next with chicken flour. Stay tuned.